U-GeekTV.
Say what you want about the roles he's taking on, whether they're big budget or like some small straight to DVD bullshit movies. One thing I can count on when it comes to Nick Cage is when he decides to be crazy, he's gonna be crazy in award-winning fashion. Let's get into it.
Is it scary being a lady FBI agent?
Yeah.
Take a nice long look. The letter was left with the bodies. Signed with one word.
Welcome back to U-GeekTV. I'm your host, Jarius Unapologetic Geek, and today I'm back with a unapologetic review of Longlegs, which I saw maybe a couple of weeks ago and completely forgot to review it. So here we are. Here I am. Yeah, here we are. So, like always, I'll give the spoiler-free review on the front end, and on the back end, I'll give the spoiler review or kind of in-depth discussion of the film. I don't really have a lot to say on the spoiler side of this, but there was something in particular I did want to discuss, so you'll see it there. Without further ado, here's the spoiler-free review. Longlegs is very creepy and atmospheric. I appreciate the art direction and the cinematography with just how this film looks. It's a good-looking film, but the colors are really toned down. Like everything kind of looks drab and kind of monotone, but in a good sort of way. And it lends itself to that kind of, I kind of call it cozy horror, where everything just feels so close, like danger is right around the corner, or it just feels like something is watching you the whole time. That film does a good job of conveying that feeling throughout, and it's very unsettling. The cast in Longlegs is solid, headlined by none other than Nicolas Cage, who plays Longlegs here. He's so creepy. Like he's the type of creepy that's kind of hard to look at because you don't know if this motherfucker is gonna do something like go just out of nowhere or something like that. Like when you see him, you just kind of get these kind of shivers because of the unpredictability with how he looks. Like with Hannibal Lecter, I knew Hannibal was crazy, but Hannibal was kind of sophisticated. Like he wasn't just gonna kind of jump out at you or anything like that. But Longlegs, the way he moves and how he talks and everything is so unpredictable. And they do play on that because he does do some bullshit just out of nowhere sometimes. So big props to Nicolas Cage, who is one of the better actors of our generation, quite frankly. But speaking of the cast, you know who the hell is in here that I didn't know was in here and like he's in the movie throughout? Blair Underwood. What the fuck? Blair Underwood is in this movie. He is a primary contributor. I would even say he was the tertiary character of the film. Yeah, so Blair Underwood is in Longlegs and he does a good Blair Underwood job. So I will say Longlegs is a solid movie. Like it's very entertaining, but it has some staying power in the recesses of your mind. Like that unsettling feeling, I'll admit I couldn't shake it for a couple days after seeing it. Like some of the parts in the film were really disturbing, but not in like a gross way, just in like a psychological way and honestly in a spiritual way in some ways. And it just stayed with me. And I just kept like thinking about the plot and where we went and how dark it got. And yeah, it reminds me of the television show HBO had called The Outsider. Once The Outsider is over with, it kind of stays in your head a little bit. So yeah, Longlegs is that kind of horror endeavor, more psychological than boo, I'm gonna get you scary. So that gets me to my verdict. Longlegs again is a solid film with where the scares are really more so psychological than present and physical and in your face. It's headlined by some great performances. I'm looking forward to seeing it again. So for me, it's gonna come out to be a unapologetically legit film, which is a 4 out of 5. Now let's get to some spoiler talk. So, although Longlegs is your primary serial killer, you find out that he belongs to a cult of Satanists who are doing like these ritual or trying to complete this ritual. It's like a devil's triangle ritual, and they kill on a specific day. And it's like, I think it's girls or women who are born on, I believe, the 14th of every month, and it could be between the 13th and the 16th. Like they'll take what they can get, but the biggest thing is they have to complete the triangle. And we're down to our last kill, but he's also missed a kill. You find out the kill that he missed was Lee Harkin, which is the primary detective who's after him. And he spared Lee because her mother took a deal with him and was helping him complete these killings. That's a hell of a plot twist, if you ask me. Like, I did not see that shit coming. So, Lee's mother, Ruth, once it's discovered, or once it looks like we're about to discover, that she is the second quote unquote Longlegs in the movie, she goes full heel, blows a cop's head or a detective's head off. And yeah, it was pretty bad too. And we're off to the races on the big reveal as well as the ending. By the way, Nick Cage doesn't make it to the end of this movie. Longlegs kills himself because he sees the circle or the triangle is being completed or about to be completed by Ruth. But he didn't count on Lee like busting this whole shit up. So you might be wondering, or at least I was wondering throughout the film, how was it a serial killer when it looks like the families that were dying, it was murder, suicide situations. It appears that the father lost his marbles, killed the mother, and then killed the child or children if it was more than one. You find out that they are getting dolls from Ruth, and these dolls have like these spear in their heads that has like some kind of demonic presence or force, and it possesses the father, and then the father commits all of the killing. So essentially, Longlegs wasn't doing anything. Either Longlegs, Ruth Longlegs, or Nick Cage Longlegs, neither one of them was actually doing the killings. And I thought that was super unsettling on a spiritual level. I discussed before, my faith and where I am as far as spirituality. And that's the kind of horror that really registers with me. Anything that can talk about a combination of the psyche as well as the spirit, you got me. Like that's some unsettling shit. And it also comes into the point of don't take everything from everybody. Don't let somebody come to your house and they drop off some shit and you're like, oh, this is nice. And I even say that with food. I'm not eating food from everybody. I don't know what the fuck they got going on. And so the way they were doing it was Ruth would come in and she's coming in like she's this from a church, and she's just dropping off like a doll to kids in the neighborhood, and she's looking like a nun, and so she's unassuming, and they let her in, and all of a sudden the damn dad is killing the mom and the kid, and she is fucked up. And what's even more fucked up is like Ruth was an unwilling participant, but she only took the deal to keep Lee alive from Longlegs when he came to their house a long time ago. And she took that deal, and at first it was kind of unsettling and grotesque to her, but over time it played on her mind and broke her down to the point where she accepted it, and she was okay with witnessing this stuff over and over again. And she had to make sure the killings happened in order to be able to move on to the next one. So she honestly may have been a little bit more dangerous than Longlegs, the Nick Cage Longlegs, when you think about it. But in the end, Lee prevents the final triangle killing from happening and saves the day. And you kind of are just left with it. You don't know how things turned out because everybody who could have told the truth is essentially dead. And the little girl, psychologically, she may be fucked up at this point because her parents are also dead. But the hold that this doll has on people, it appears that they kind of forget what it is that's going on, or they themselves are led to become Satanists also. So yeah, it's a fucked up ending. It's a good movie, but it is a genuinely unnerving ending. Now, on the subject of Lee, early in the film, they kind of play with her possibly being clairvoyant, and they kind of dropped it, and we move on from it. I wonder why that plot point wasn't kind of pushed forward a little more. It kind of gave me a Stephen King vibe. I think it would have been dope if she was clairvoyant and she was chasing Longlegs just through her clairvoyancy, really. They kind of play on her possibly just being clairvoyant or having a hunch. And I think to a degree, that's how she was led to uncover some of the clues she was able to find and track down Longlegs, which the FBI was unable to do. But I don't believe they played that up as much as they could have. And that's the only thing that kind of was disappointing about this film to me. So, Longlegs, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Continue to like, continue to share. New subscribers or new viewers who are possibly going to become subscribers, go ahead and subscribe. Come back. I have plenty more. And thank you for everything, like always. And until next time, I'm Jarius, Unapologetic Geek, and I am out.